What's up YouTube? BK with BK Gaming 9000 here. It is Friday. You know what that means. It's the vendor reset for the division. So as always, if you found this video helpful, please smash that like button. It does help out the channel quite a bit. Subscribe for more division video in the future. 1.6 is right around the corner, coming out February 28th. I hope you guys are excited as I am about this. But without further ado, let's jump right on into it. So we're going to skip over the named weapons, and we're going to start off with the first wave X45 with Expert and Sustained. We have an enhanced AUG A3P with Accurate, Destructive, and Competent. Pretty decent considering the critical hit damage is going to change to critical hit chance in 1.6. So I would actually think about picking this one up if I were you guys. Next we have a lightweight M4 with enemy armor damage with Accurate, Vicious, and Self-Preserved. We have a Tactical Super 90 SBS with Capable, Sustained, and Swift. A Hunting M44 with Destructive, Ferocious, and Adept. And then a Black Market M60 E6 with Capable, Self-Preserved, and Sustained. Moving on over to the gear pieces, we have a Tactical Mask with Tenacious. Remember down here in the major attributes, the health and the armor are going to change, so there's no longer going to be armor, and health is going to be a lot more, so keep that in mind for the future. I'm just going to scroll over these, and if you see something that you may like, go ahead and pick it up, and I will stop and review it. So the damage to elites is pretty nice here. We also have a Reclaimer Vest, which is also going to change in 1.6. We have an Accomplished Knee Pads right here with Exotic Damage Resilience. In 1.6 for the knee pads, you definitely want the Disrupt, Bleed, and Burn Resistance. And then for the major attribute, you can get the health. That would definitely help you out a lot. I haven't really played any of the 1.6 yet, but hopefully when I get that downloaded the day before, when they fix the patches and stuff like that, when they have the server fix, hopefully I can jump on ASAP for you guys. We have some Operator Decisive gloves, Sentry's Call gloves, kind of a low roll there. Low roll there. And moving on to the mods, we have a prototype firearm mod with plus 3% skill haste. We have a prototype performance mod with plus 2.5% smart cover damage resilience. We have a heavy magazine. We have an Omega rifle suppressor. We have a vertical grip, as well as a 5.52 hollow sight. So moving on from here over to the blueprint area, we will see what the blueprints have for us in store. Last week was kind of a joke with 2 pistols. We have a first wave PF45 blueprint, which is a pistol, and then we have the M870 Express blueprint, which is a shotgun. So not much better this week. We also have stamina knee pads, as well as electronic gloves for the blueprints and stuff like that, but it's electronic, so I would probably pass on that. We also have a vertical grip, an EXP S3 holographic sight, a performance gear mod, and that will do it for those. So now let's head on upstairs. Okay agents, now that we're here at the advanced weaponry vendor, let's go ahead and see what he has for us today. Skipping over here for the named weapons, we're going to start off with the M45A1 with Expert Dominant. We have a Burst Fire MP5A4 with Fierce, Adept, and Brutal. We have an enhanced ACRE with Unforgiving, Deadly, and Sustained. We have a military M870 with Ferocious, Competent, and Unforgiving. We have an M700 Carbon with Capable, Toxic, and Elevated. And we also have a military MK46 with Capable, Swift, and Dominant. Moving on to the mods, we have a heavy magazine spring, a large suppressor, a vertical grip, as well as a reflex sight. So everybody knows that I like to go to the front of the base of the operations and check out the Dark Zone vendor, as well as the 2 that are in the front. Starting out with the Dark Zone gear vendor, we have a double-barreled sawed-off with Brutal, Destructive, and Vicious. Not bad there. We have Gunslinger gloves rolled with Stamina with Decisive. Not bad, not horrible. We also have a prototype electronics mod with plus 3,307 skill power. Decent there if you run an electronics build. We have an SR7 suppressor. Not bad there. And then we have our sealed cache. So moving on over to the weapons vendor here. Scrolling all the way down, we have a Tactical AUG A3P with Capable, Ferocious, and Adept. We also have a VX-1 scope, which is a 12 times zoom with 17% headshot damage, 4.5% optimal range, and plus 4% critical hit damage, which is pretty decent in my opinion. So decent. I'm going to try to pick it up. There we go. Now moving over to the gear vendor. Let's go ahead and see what he's got. We got a Reckless Gunslinger Vest rolled towards firearm with plus 9%, 9.5%, excuse me, exotic damage resilience. And then we have plus 1,000 armor, give or take, but that will go away, so that will roll to a random talent when 1.6 drops. And then we also have the plus 24% increased kill XP. Moving on down, we have a prototype performance mod with plus 7% ballistic shield health. So now I will see you guys in the dark zone. Okay, agents, so we're here in DZ02. Let's go ahead and see what the Dark Zone gear vendor has for us today. We have the Operator's Mask, rolled with firearms. We have Spec Ops Armor with Forceful, also rolled towards firearms. We have a Spec Ops Pack, rolled towards electronics with Specialize. I'd probably re-roll the electronics because it also has plus 12,000 something skill power. We have Spec Ops Pad with Accomplished. We have Spec Ops Holster with Sturdy. Pretty low rolls on the electronics and the firearms on that one. And then we have Savage Firearms Gloves. Decent rolls on the bottom with the major attributes, but it is kind of lacking in the firearms section. So let's head on over to DZ03. Alright, agents, so we're here in DZ03. Let's go ahead and see what the Dark Zone weapons vendor has for us this week. First off, we have the Rhino Special. We have Expert and Proficient on that one. We have a converted SMG-9 with Vicious, Meticulous, and Fierce. We have an ACR with Adept, Accurate, and Predatory. We have an M870 Express with Dominant, Adept, and Sustained. A SOCOM M1A with Commanding, Determined, and Talented. As well as a Black Market RPK-74E with Accurate, Capable, and Vicious. So not too much there. Let's head on over to DZ04. Okay, agents, so now we're here at the Dark Zone gear mod vendor in DZ04. Let's go ahead and see what he's got for us today. So we have a prototype electronics mod with plus 3,000 skill power, which is pretty decent, as well as a prototype performance mod, which has a plus 2% pulse critical hit chance, which is also pretty decent. So now let's head on over to DZ05. Okay, agents, so we're here in DZ05. Let's go ahead and see what the weapon mod vendor has for us today. We have a quick release magazine, a TI Rant suppressor, a hand stop, as well as a Rug Mini Reflex sight, which actually is pretty poor. So I wouldn't get that one. Although the hand stop is pretty decent, as well as the suppressor. The suppressor's okay. So let's head on over to DZ06. Okay, agents, now we're here in DZ06. Let's see what the special vendor has for us today. Right off the bat, we have an Electronics Tactician's Authority mask. We have a Banshee Shadow armor piece, also rolled towards electronics. We have a Sentry's Call backpack with armor. Just remember that's going to change. We have a Tactician's Authority knee pad, also rolled towards electronics with armor. Remember that's going to change. We have a Striker's holster. Pretty poor stamina and electronics roll. And then we have a Predator's Bark glove piece with a poor firearms roll. And that'll do it for the DZ. Let's go ahead and head on over to the DZ checkpoints. Okay, agents, so we're here in Checkpoint East, 53rd Street. Let's go ahead and see what he's got for us today. We have an M870 Express with Fierce, Determined, and Predatory. We have operator pads. Pretty poor roll for the firearms there. We have a prototype performance mod, as well as a T2 micro red dot sight. So let's head on over to the next checkpoint. Alright, agents, so we're here in East 46th Street. Let's go ahead and see what the vendor has for us today. We have an MG5 with Competent, Accurate, and Talented. We have an Operator holster with pretty low rolls for all the rolls there. I wouldn't get that. A prototype performance mod, and then a loud vent break. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, agents, we are here at East 42nd Street. Let's go ahead and see what the Dark Zone vendor has for us today. We have a Black Market SASG-12S with Fierce, Predatory, and Swift. We have Gunslinger gloves with Savage roll. It's a pretty low firearm, or not firearms, excuse me, stamina roll there, pretty low one. But we do have pretty decent major attributes for this one. So I would probably think about picking this one up, to be honest with you. We have a prototype performance mod, as well as a PEQ 15 laser orange. So let's go ahead and head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, so we're here in East 40th Street. Let's go ahead and see what this vendor has for us today. We have a Burstfire MP5A4 with responsive, ferocious, and meticulous. We have a Spec Ops holster with pretty low firearms and stamina roll there, pretty low ones. With sturdy, we have a prototype stamina mod, pretty low there, and then we have a muzzle brake. Let's head on over to the next checkpoint. Alright, agents, so we're here at East 34th Street. Let's go ahead and see what this vendor has for us today, starting off with the Tactical MK16 with focus, competent, and determined. We have a Spec Ops mask with a pretty low firearms roll there. Prototype performance mod with plus 7% support station duration, and an MK5 scope 15 times tan. Pretty low there for those rolls as well. So let's head on over to the next checkpoint. Okay, agents, so we're here in East 31st Street. Let's see what they have for us today. We have a Rhino Special with expert and proficient, operator holster with steadfast, pretty low rolls on all stamina, firearms, and electronics. Prototype performance mod with plus 3.5% seeker mine damage, and a vertical grip FDE. Let's head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, we're at the 5th Avenue checkpoint. Let's see what this vendor has for us today. We have an ACR with self-preserve, sustained, and determined. We have an operator's mask with a low stamina roll with refreshed. We have a prototype performance mod plus 7.5% support station range, and a PEQ 15 laser green. Let's head on over to the west checkpoint. Okay, agents, we're here at West 31st Street. Let's see what this vendor has for us today. We have a Tactical SA58 with ferocious, fierce, and capable. We have operator pads with a low electronics roll with prosperous. We have a prototype firearms mod, pretty high there, but it's plus 273 armor. Remember, that's going to drop and give you something different. And we have a large suppressor FDE. So if you're going to pick any of those up, I would pick them up. The suppressor was pretty nice. Let's head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, we're here at West 34th Street. Let's go ahead and see what this vendor has for us today. We have a converted SMG-9 with brutal, skilled, and deadly. Not bad, but those types of SMGs are not really that great in my opinion. We have an operator holster with a low firearms and electronics roll with steadfast, a prototype performance mod with plus 6% first aid self-heal, and a high velocity magazine with pretty low rolls as well. Let's head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, we're here at the West 39th Street. Let's see what this vendor has for us today. We have a Tactical AUG A3P with accurate, adept, and fierce. Not bad, since fierce is actually in the 3rd slot, and that one's a hard one to unlock, so you could possibly re-roll adept, but the accurate really doesn't need to be there because it is pretty stable already. We have an operator pack with a pretty low firearms, but it is relentless, so that one is pretty decent as well. We have a prototype firearms mod, pretty low there, and then a small grip red, which could use, instead of reload speed, maybe headshot damage or something like that. Let's head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, we're here at the West 42nd Street. Let's see what this vendor has for us today. We have a SOCOM MK20 SSR with meticulous, predatory, sustained. We have a tactical mask, low firearms there with refreshed. We have a prototype firearm mod, pretty low there as well, and a small laser pointer. Let's head on over to the next one. Okay, agents, we're here at West 46th Street. Let's see what this Dark Zone vendor has for us today. We have a Tactical UMP45 with Adept, Determined, and Ambusher. Ambusher is actually a pretty decent talent, so I would probably look for those in 1.6 on your SMGs. We have a Spec Ops Mask with Rejuvenated. Pretty low stamina roll there. We have a Prototype Performance mod with plus 6% ballistic shield health, and an Osprey .45 suppressor. Pretty decent rolls there. I would probably not have the 5% optimal range, but that's just me. And I probably like headshot damage over accuracy, but that's just me as well. Let's head on over to the next one. Alright, agents, we're here at the West 53rd Street Dark Zone vendor. Let's go ahead and see what they got for us today. We have Black Market RPK 74E with Deadly, Competent, and Accurate. Decent roll there. I'd probably re-roll Competent for something else. It's pretty low for the DMG to target out of cover, but that's just me. We also have an Operator's Pack with an Electronics roll with Relentless, plus 872 armor. Remember, that's going to change. We have a prototype electronics mod, pretty low there, as well as a small grip. So that'll do it for this week with the vendor resets. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, a like would be super appreciated. Subscribe for more videos in the future. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to visit the safe houses next. And if I see anything that I like in the safe houses, my Twitter is where I will be posting it. So stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, I will see you in that next